Welcoming
Hi.
Adnan Maddix to our latest podcast series today. And he's going to be talking a little bit more about the Singapore market and APAC in general. So I'll kick off with the first question. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself and then talk about what are you seeing as the key trends in the Singapore market, especially in risk and compliance.
Nice to be with you today. So I've been running the Singapore office for over 3 years now. We mainly focused on compliance for hedge funds, investment banks, and crypto, and that's the same for risk. So we're very much focused on the financial services market. We also have some big players and clients within the consultancy space as well.
What are you seeing as the key trends at the moment within that market space?
Well, seeing as Singapore is a really strong financial services hub, what was really interesting at the beginning of 2019, just before COVID, obviously that was the beginning of 2020, that we saw the MAS actually put out a paper, which is the Payment Services Act. And what that was to highlight, the change in payments services. So what ended up happening was a lot of crypto firms actually moved to Singapore. So what you've actually seen over the last sort of 24 months is a real rise in a lot of large organizations putting their HQs here. So you're seeing a lot of anti-money laundering investigation positions that are surrounding regulatory and legal requirements within the crypto space. And you're also seeing a large movement within derivatives, equities, fixed income space as well. So lots of hiring within those three key areas.
What's the most important advice you would give any ambitious risk or compliance professional, for that matter, looking for a move?
What's really key at the moment is really niche sets of skills. So very specific, whether it's the technology or it's something that you can see that's forward moving. Singapore is a place which has a lot of great engineers, a lot of great compliance people, a lot of strong people in financial services. So I think one of the key areas that I've seen is people that have gone out their way to make sure that their profiles look better. Whether that's to do with FRM, whether that's to do with CFA, whether it's to do with a multitude of different courses, because it really is a competitive market here. And I think with the sort of situation that we're finding ourselves in right now, there is a lot more opportunity for people who are really, really looking to upskill themselves.
What are the kind of key clients that you're working with doing to attract that talent? Are they offering anything extra? Are they offering training or, further development, etc.?
What I've actually started to see now is during the interview process, they're actually getting the more senior people involved in the interview at the beginning to actually give the vision. Gone are the days where clients could just say, I want to bring this person in. You're now having to get MDs on the phone, executive directors, to really tell the candidate the vision of the business. So, you might have a junior person now actually getting access to, ED that's been in the bank or the crypto firm or the hedge fund for a long period of time to really sell the opportunity. But really now, it's not really about the job, it's about the vision and about where people want to go. I mean, there's a lot of candidates I've spoken to that have joined, these very small businesses 5 years ago, and they've been given, equity within the business, small piece of equity, but then that's turned into a large amount of money in the future. So I think now salary just doesn't cut it like it used to. A lot more people now are wanting to be part of the business, be part of the growth of the business. So you are seeing a lot more senior people getting involved in the interview process. Just to get that interest from the candidate.
Sure, and I think that's the case in all sectors. I think a lot of companies are having to take employees on a journey, aren't they, to retain them, because otherwise the attrition rates are just tough to get down in this market when it's so candidate short. And so on to the next question. Do you have any tips for people looking to relocate to Singapore? I don't know how difficult it is from a visa perspective.
Look, it's difficult right now, but the thing with Singapore and Hong Kong, I also recruit there for the risk positions, is that the borders are shut right now, but what you find with places like Singapore and Hong Kong is that, they can shut down very quickly, but they can open up very quickly as well. I will say that at the moment there is a push for local hires here, but the government also has said that they do need international people, the best and the brightest. So I don't think Singapore's borders are going to remain closed to the top talent. I think that if you want to be here, just make sure that you are at the top of the area that you need to be in, because it is a very fierce competitive market here, and clients will always go for the best people, but they'll also go for an option which allows them to hit their sort of local criteria, but also be the best in class. So I think if you are trying to move to Singapore, make sure that you're the best person in your office, wherever you are, and then if you can get an internal transfer, then once you're here, it's much easier to move. So I think trying to move into Singapore right now for the next 6 to 12 months could be quite difficult, but I think if you're moving internally and then once you're here, you look at all the opportunities here, then that definitely would help.
Okay, and I suppose, I know in Europe there has been, especially on the contract side and possibly even the permanent side, there's been quite a lot of remote working, and people have worked, for example, in London, and you've been able to tap into that London talent pool, but the roles might have been based in a European city, but because you're remote, it doesn't really matter where you're located. Does that happen at the start of a kind of role in Singapore or APAC as well?
I mean, we have had a few people who have started remotely because they can't get into the country, but will have to move here within the 6 to 12 months. So I'm assuming that, once we get into the sort of early part of next year, you're probably going to see a lot more people moving into Singapore from locations that they've already, they've already got jobs here. So I think, the market here really is vibrant at the moment. There's lots of jobs. That's one thing I will say. I think that it's a testament to the market right now. There's been a lot of stimulus from the government. So, the sector that we find ourselves in, which is financial services, is actually probably booming a lot right now. Clients have done really, really well in their business areas, so they want to grow. They want the best people, and I think Singapore definitely is something that people should still be drawn to. I think the current sort of situation is what it is, but I think from a recruitment standpoint of view, the financial service market is going in the right direction.
And I know Hong Kong has had different challenges, but do you think that market is also kind of on the increase as well?
What I can say from my anecdotal evidence is that I speak to candidates in Singapore and Hong Kong all day, and the numbers would say that what you're hearing and to what's actually happening on the ground is very different. I think the expat population generally is removed away from anything that you might think would happen. 5% of those issues, but I think generally the markets for jobs is very good. You have seen a lot of people leaving, but for the people who are left here, I would also almost say it's carte blanche. If you're very good at your job, you really have the choice to choose. It's very competitive, but there's opportunities right now. I mean, if I was to go back 2 years ago, I would be calling clients a lot, but at the moment, clients are calling me a lot because they're looking for, good people. So I think that if you're very good at your job, you will have 2 to 3 offers to choose from, which is actually the best place you want to be. So I think anyone who's looking for a job right now, should really move. I would say to people that, this next 12 to 18 months is a really good time to change jobs, move into a different line of business because of the scarcity of the market. I think if you wait for 12 to 18 months when the tide is set, companies would have changed direction, new people would have come into the market, and you would have missed that opportunity to move into a different area and also get a good increase in your salary.
Brilliant. It sounds like it's exciting times for you guys in APAC. All right, thank you very much for your time today, and I'm sure that's really useful information about the Singapore and Hong Kong market to the rest of the audience. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Kat. Bye.